I want to ask you first, obviously, about your injury. We were told it's going to be a 12-week recovery period. Is there any hope you could get back sooner than that?
Um, well, I suppose you never know. I've been told 12 weeks, and I'll just rehab away, work as hard as I can, and hopefully, hopefully get back a bit sooner. But it's kind of, I've been told 12 weeks, and that's a pretty realistic target. So yeah, just see where I'm at in a few weeks. Keep doing what I'm told and rehabbing away, and then see where I end up.
Is it all the more, I suppose, it's just such a shame then, obviously you want to see your team doing well, but that you're going to miss out on the crescendo of the season and hopefully two finals, definitely two semi-finals at least.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. I had the same last year, unfortunately, missing the fun part of the season, or the funnest part of the season. But yeah, that's the way sport goes. I mean, I'll be cheering on. I'll be cheering on the lads. It's a very exciting time of year. So good buzz around the place, around the dressing room and in the gym and everything. Everyone's on a bit of a buzz. It's always gets a lot more exciting this time of year. So I'll be cheering on.
Is it easier for a club like Leinster because this is your 11th semi-final? You've been here so many times. You've won the trophy so many times. That is it easier when it gets to this part of the season because you know exactly what to expect and what to do?
I wouldn't say it gets any easier. I mean, you look at the quality of the Ulster performance last week and how tough a game that was, and watching Toulouse versus Racing on the weekend, how good Toulouse look now for the semi-finals as well. So I wouldn't say we ever think it's going to be easy, or you wouldn't get complacent in any way looking at the quality of the opposition. So yeah, it's going to be a tough semi-final coming up, and I'm sure a tough semi-final in the Pro 14 as well. So we know we've got a lot of work to do.
Looking back on the Ulster game, and I suppose there was maybe shades of Johnny Sexton when he came on against Munster that time, back in '09 when Leinster won their first Heineken Cup and kicking that really crucial penalty. When you look at Ross Byrne in the closing minutes to kick that penalty with cramp, what does it say about him as a player, how he's come on?
Yeah, he's incredibly resilient, and he's a really good player. It was great to see him. You see how hard he works at his kicking and his all-round game, and to see him finishing out the game like that for us was pretty incredible.
Are Toulouse playing like the Toulouse of old, the famous Toulouse that we've known so well, that had so much success in Europe?
I think they are. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen them playing this quality rugby. They're incredibly dangerous. Look at some of the tries they're scoring. I think they're unbeaten since they played us in January. So they'll be full of confidence, and there'll be a serious fight on our hands.
Just to ask you about as well some of the players that Leinster are going to be losing another player in Jack McGrath, who's heading to Ulster, and obviously this is something that's been happening over the last couple of seasons, and we see so many Leinster players now playing at other provinces. I know Gordon Darcy's wrote a piece about it today, just saying that that Leinster are kind of producing these players, but for the benefit of other provinces. Is it a little frustrating when you see so many good teammates leaving?
Yeah, I mean, Jack McGrath's a great guy. He's a great man to have around the dressing room, and really world-class player as well. So yeah, we're obviously gutted to lose him. I suppose it's part of the game. I'm sure be a great opportunity for him, and I'm sure he'll do incredibly well up in Ulster. So yeah, it's always sad when people retire or leave or anything like that. But I think it's part of the game. But we'll definitely miss him.
And Dan Levy as well. A really upsetting weekend for him, and to have his World Cup dreams ended. He's still young, and we would like to think he might come back for another crack at a World Cup, but you must really feel from after what happened.
Yeah, it's incredibly tough for him. I mean, after the game on the weekend, we'd obviously won, but everyone was I suppose a small bit down for Dan. I mean, it's incredibly tough for him, missing out the rest of the season, missing the World Cup, but he's a very resilient man. He's incredibly professional, and he'll be back better than ever. I've no doubt about that.
Has the confidence and the good morale that was built up last year with Ireland, has that dissolved slightly after what happened in the Six Nations? Is that a concern maybe going into the World Cup?
I wouldn't say it's a concern. No, it's different competition. It's 6 or 8 months further down the line. There's a lot of rugby played between the Six Nations and the World Cup, and yeah, I mean, we had a few tough games obviously in the Six Nations, but we know we can perform against the best teams in the world, and we know we can beat the best teams in the world. So I think we definitely have a lot of confidence. Obviously, I suppose it's a bit of a, I wouldn't say a wake-up call. Games are always going to be tough, but yeah, it was a tough Six Nations. Obviously, we obviously aimed to win those, to win it, and we didn't, which is disappointing. But that's all part of it. We know it'll be tough. We'll learn an incredible amount from the games we lost and from the Six Nations as a whole. So I'd be very confident now coming into the World Cup.
The Wales players, excuse me, as we know, the Wales players are never lacking in confidence, and it was interesting hearing the head coach Warren Gatland say after winning the Grand Slam that he believed they were good enough to go down there and win that World Cup. Do you think Irish players or Irish head coaches would ever be that brave in making those kind of assertions before such a big tournament?
I suppose there's probably not much to be gained from saying it, really. I think as players, and I'm sure the coach is the same, we back our abilities. We know we're capable of beating the very best and performing to our best in the World Cup. So I don't think there's anything to be gained from putting added pressure on ourselves, but we'll back ourselves, obviously.